heard from some amazing speakers today, and we're going to hear from even more to come. And I'm just so excited to be standing here. It's part of why I love being a medical student, because you're surrounded with all these amazing people who have a vision. Because at some degree, when we enter a field of medicine or we express an interest in medicine, we are making a statement. We are saying that we want to contribute part of our lives into serving the community, and that we believe that medicine is a really beautiful and tangible way to do it. But the thing is, when people meet me, they say, "So, who are you? What do you do?" And invariably, most of us go, "Well, I'm a medical student." And the next thing they ask us is, "So, what do you want to do after that? Do you want to specialize, be a cardiothoracic surgeon, or be a researcher?" And sometimes, just once in a while, I'm tempted to say, "Well, I was actually thinking of doing a double major in pediatrics and tap dancing." Now, I don't have any tap dancing skills, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of us who do medicine or are interested in medicine have multiple skills. Medicine is not what defines us. And that's the problem. I think that a lot of medical students feel guilty when they indulge in their other interests, whether it be photography or gaming or traveling, because they feel like they should be studying instead. And what I'd like to suggest is that this sort of guilt is unhealthy. You know, I think that society looks up to doctors as role models, and they should. But air traffic controllers also save lives, but you don't see documentaries and ERs and dramas about them. And why is that? And I think the fact of the matter is that medicine is seen as something that is a great vocation, but it also is seen as something that is life-consuming. And I would suggest that when we look outside of medicine, when we look at the other skills and talents that we're interested in, that can actually help develop us into not being bad doctors because we're splitting up our time, but possibly even making us better doctors. It's almost like that housewife dilemma. You know, can I raise a family and can I work as well? Is it possible to even do both things? And I would argue that as Gen Y, we believe we can. And I mean, we're often thought of as entitled, or that, you know, we don't have the sort of suffering that hardships and wars have brought. But I believe that it gives us an incredible amount of optimism, and it actually enables us to harness the resources and technology around us to make that possible. So I just want to give you a few examples. Gap years is something that is actually a fairly new invention. And 30 years ago, a lot of people would have frowned on the idea of someone taking a year off from medicine. Taking a year off from medicine? How irresponsible. But the thing is that I have friends who have decided to take 1 year off to go play ultimate frisbee for Australia nationally. There's another girl in my university who is dancing for a New York dance company. I have a friend who is studying in China on a scholarship to learn Mandarin. Her boyfriend is terrified that it's going to be impacting on her ability to gain an internship position. But really, when you stop and think about it, medical students these days, by taking chances and taking risks and being able to explore these other avenues outside of medicine, are not only enriching their lives, but they're also becoming better doctors. You know, exploring the world and meeting people from Europe, from Asia, from developing countries, you get an experience of what other lives are like, how to relate to other people. Learning Mandarin, my friend will be able to come back with skills in which she can serve the community. Open education has been an amazing thing that has enabled students who not just wouldn't usually go to university, but who are currently attending university to go and do other things. I know medical students who are studying law degrees, arts degrees, teaching degrees, concurrent to their medical education. And rather than detracting from their abilities as a future doctor, I think it strengthens them. One example where we see technology helping us is through an organization I'm involved with, the Australian Medical Student Journal. We're really passionate about seeing medical students gain the sort of skills and knowledge that they need in order to publish, because when you're a doctor, you're suddenly expected to do all these publications, but you lack the skills. So it'll find me on Skype, on email, on phone calls with our internal director in Perth, our external director in Adelaide, our editor-in-chief from Tasmania, who, by the way, I've never met. And somehow we are working together across the nation, and in fact, really across the world, to make a difference and to use our skills and talents and bring it back to medicine. There's one particular med student that I want to talk about. His name is Sam Prince. He's an Australian medical student, and he's 27. Actually, he's a doctor now. Whilst he was still studying medicine, Sam had a passion for entrepreneurial change. He decided to open up his own brand of Mexican restaurants. He now has 17 fresh Mexican restaurants called Sombrero around the country. They're making $10 million in revenue. And this was started when he was a medical student. How does this come about? The world is shifting and the world is changing, and we've got to change with it and adapt. And it's not simply that, oh, great, he's a medical student who has made money. He's using the profits from this organization to create two foundations, One Disease at a Time and Imagine. One Disease at a Time is right now working with doctors across Australia to eradicate scabies. When we go away and when we feel liberated to explore other things, we can come back and give medicine even more attention and love that it deserves. And that's really important because mental health and suicide rates are actually higher for doctors than the normal population, and you'd think that we would be the most educated about it. So medical students have a lot to say and they have a lot to give, but we are not just defined by medicine. In fact, when we choose to let medicine define us, as Katie Kavinsky might say, it's like we're looking through a microscope. We miss the whole picture. And really, when we stop letting medicine define us, maybe, just maybe, that's when we'll start to redefine medicine. Thank you.